You ready?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to Granblue Radio. This is Vibrating Sheep, fresh from a nice little grinding session of, One Piece. How you doing, DJ?
It's been all right. Work's been busy.
hmm Work has been interesting here at Twitch, so I'm not
Let's
gonna
not
get
talk
into it
anymore
too
about
much.
that.
What was that?
I said let's not talk about that. That's not our jurisdiction right now.
Well, yeah, right now. I was going to say it's not our jurisdiction. Actually, it is my jurisdiction, but yeah. Anyway, if you ask me about it, I will not be able to give you an honest answer. I will have to give you a corporate answer. Anyway, so how y'all doing tonight? We are here to talk about One Piece again, but we do have a couple of new things to brush over as well, not just One
Yeah.
Piece things. Um, the things that I'm barely going to brush over, we got a new Tower of Babel, and by new, I mean we got a new feature in the Tower of Babel. This is the first Babel run in 5 months, and they are doing this strictly as a catch up.
Yeah, I
Um,
need to use this to catch up. So
yeah, I. It is weird. Like this is run very differently than how Princess Connect does it, because Princess Connect brings it back extremely regularly, but also doesn't necessarily treat it as special. It's just
the way Precon does it is that A, it's every month, and
mm-hmm,
B, there's usually like a story segment tied to it.
true.
That's tied to different characters, not just like one character, one set of
Yeah,
characters.
it's like character vignettes with like various characters going through and talking to each other that normally
Yeah.
wouldn't be hanging out together.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Yui Makoto and Kasumi have hung out together before.
True, but some of them don't. Where it was Kasumi. No, it wasn't Kasumi. It was June and like I forget who. It's been a while. There were a few who don't normally hang out. So anyway, so there's that going on. We've got a couple of teasers for uh, main story. So main story sometime this fall. Um, but fall literally just started today, so we've got a 3 month window to figure out when that's gonna drop. When it drops,
That
it
character
drops.
looks familiar. Anyways,
Eurotis, yeah.
yeah.
Ah, she has very red eyes. It's fine. It's a very different person.
Oh, she has the same voice.
Let's not worry about that. Just
All
don't
right.
don't think about it. Um,
I'm sorry. This is what I do.
yeah, you right. Um, we have a few little things like we got the Luffy pose, which is just it's good fun, you know. And those are the little things. Those are, now let's talk about the big things. So which of the four new characters do you want to talk about?
Oh, there's one fire and three darks. Hmm.
The fire character isn't even new. It's a 5 star that we
Let's
knew
just
about coming in, but
pull the bandage off. Let's go with Luffy.
all right. So the title of this episode is, in fact, the King of the Tie-in characters because,
He is definitely the king.
like, we've talked about how they've been making steadily better and better tie-in characters. It's like new
Considering that we
generations.
started with the worst, and then now we're getting way better now.
Well, Mikazuki Munichika was the first one that, like, they did it based out of legacy because I think Token Runbu players would have complained if he wasn't SSR because he was their first essentially SSR equivalent in Token Ranbu, and then they just sort of escalated things from there. But yeah, like right around Tanjiro, we went, wow, these characters are really good. That's new. New generations a little bit as well.
Yeah, we used Nugent for the Jean loop.
hmm And then it's like bo. All right, let me collect myself and say that right. Bo.
Whoa.
Um, has just really funny applications and is surprisingly good. The freaking Shinsengumi got life from Raw, which is funny because they just get 2 red skills on off of cooldown every time they see A, which is
It's
something
also
they
not like they had bad skills to begin with.
true. Gintoki and the Yorozia group um, are good in hard content. That was surprising. And then we got like Prish, who's really good. The Uma Musume are really good. Like um, Nobita gets use in OTK situations.
Oh yeah, because it's backline passive.
hmm Robin and Nami are actually useful in like hard content as well. And now let's get back to Luffy. So when
Let's get
we
to the king of the pirates.
yeah, the king of the pirates. So Number one, his new art is actually dope. I love almost everything about this art. He's got freaking Goldie Rogers coat. He's got like references to all of the major arcs of One Piece behind him. He's got his boys Sabo and Ace. We got the Ennius lobby. We've got the big like stand against the world government going on back here.
Hmm.
It's it's cool stuff. It's very cool stuff. Um, and when we were talking about Luffy last time, we were like, oh yeah, so he's gonna get better. And oh baby.
Oh baby, he got way better.
So all right, let's start with the first one, the level 80 thing. So Gum Gum Kong Gun. The first thing it did was already really good. All of his red skills go off of cooldown. We're like, oh,
Which
that's
is
really
always
good.
a good ability. It was
Hmm.
just that he was held back by the fact that he took much longer to get charge bar.
Hmm. And now his reward for bringing him to longer fights is that from turn 10 and on, he just has permanent CA reactivate.
It does not stack for CA reactivate. You should never target him for CA reactivate.
He doesn't need it. Yeah,
It's not even just needed. It just won't work on him.
it just doesn't work. Yeah. The next thing that happens, I believe, happens to his passives. So the second thing that he gets is the Captain of the Straw Hats upgrade, which changes his multi-attack rate. Note that this is the thing that surprised me. There is no cap on his multi-attack rate growing, basically. Like, it just goes until he has 100%.
Yep. So he gains 20% DA per turn and 10% TA per turn.
So on turn 10, he just always triple attacks from then on. Now, triple attacking isn't necessarily the be-all end-all for him because, one, he doesn't provide himself with Chaser.
Meter.
Number two, you mentioned it there. He just doesn't get meter for it, but it's free. It's free damage. And
And
then,
it's on top of his getting a unique modifier, 3% each turn as well. So
mhm. And then level 95, we get the Fifth Emperor.
yeah, this was really weird because usually when we get these upgrades, it's usually skill 1, skill 2, and a passive. It's now
Mhm.
passive, and
Skill 3.
skill 3.
So the passive gives him supplemental damage on everything he does, which is what 50k.
50k. That's a lot.
That's a lot when he does Gum Gum Hawk Gatling, um, and so
Which is
what?
it's yeah.
So it's a free 400k on Gum 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 Hawk Gatling. I'm doing that a lot today.
And this is before you add in what was it called? Your seraphic bonus.
Hmm. And yeah, and then it goes from he can't be knocked out for the first 5 turns because that was when he got his Color of the Supreme King Haki, to now he can't be knocked out for 10 turns, which is when he gets CA reactivate. Okay. All right, Luffy.
Yeah, Luffy's pretty good.
Then the last thing is Color of the Supreme King Haki.
It's his
So
skill 3 that gets it, and it reduces the ready time from 5 turns to turn 1. You can
it
use
is
it turn 1.
he is just plain ready on turn 1. So if you're doing something that involves pressing buttons on turn 1, he will give himself full meter. He'll also, do some incidental things with the petrify, with the fire damage down.
Fire
The
defense down, you mean?
Did I say what did I say?
Fire damage down.
Fire defense down. My bad. Um, he will cast his nukes. Then he will immediately CA and cast his nukes again next turn.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Um, like he doesn't do anything but damage. However, with all of that said, he does a lot of damage.
Yeah. When they also print another character that keys off Singed, he's like auto slotted.
Hmm. Because he just raises your singed, like he raises your singed by 2 on turn 2, and then he will also have permanent uplift, so that at minimum he CAs every X turns and raises your singed again.
I like his uplift is 20% too, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know. Oh yeah, we can talk about this about his hockey ability now that we have the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 30% attack up, about a 30% dodge rate, debuff immunity, and 20% off lift.
Yeah. Yeah. 20% is a lot. 20% is a lot. It does definitely makes up for him not gaining meter from attacking. It is almost the equivalent of him double attacking every turn. Which, hey, guess what? After a while, he does anyway. After turn 5, he automatically double attacks. After turn 10, he automatically triple attacks.
And that's not including whatever things you have, like buffs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he is a big damage dealer. He
He's
doesn't do much more other than that, but he's a lot of damage.
yeah. Um, yeah. The specific situation that the people are having him shine in right now is Raw, where he will in fact give your entire team 20 meter every time he CAs because of Raw's special effect. And so, um, note that that does come with a drawback, but
Yeah, just don't
most
die.
yeah, just don't die. He can't die, so it's fine for 10 turns.
Yeah,
Um,
everyone else though, you
yeah,
know.
mostly like everybody who has been taking Luffy to Raw and playing auto, he's being carried by like the utility character of the year for Fire, which is Medusa. Just casually. Um, let's see here. Yeah, just casually dispelling every turn, so she helps keep.
As long as she doesn't get hit.
Yes. Well, when she CAs every turn, it's much easier to make sure she doesn't get hit because she gets dodge all. So
True.
Medusa is the one who keeps that team together. It's just that Luffy is currently one of the best ways to deal damage while Medusa keeps your team alive. In Raw specifically.
Yeah, so if you have the utility of the other characters, it's fine to bring Luffy to like anything really.
Mm-hmm. He's currently one of the best ways to just deal no questions asked damage. All right. So that's Luffy. Let's go talk about the other um, tie-in character that we just got. So here's Zoro and Sanji.
Katana melee.
Um, I'm trying to think. Ko is Katana Harp, right?
Yes, because he's a dancer.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, Katana Melee is relatively unique as a combo because, well, it's not the same person. Um, so let's go talk about the the joke that I have, which is "Welcome to Dark. Here's your triple attack and your chaser." So they have one of those, and then they have a variation on the other one. So where do you want to start with these two?
Three sword style swordsman.
Three sword style swordsman. So they have permanent hostility up, and they always triple attack.
Yeah, it's kind of good.
The more likely to be targeted, they have only one ability that keeps them from dying. Well, from dying to the hostility. They actually do have a heal as well. But yeah, um, we're used to just having a bunch of triple attackers who will fall over in Dark. It's just sort of Dark's thing sometimes.
They are liable to die from a giant hit. Yeah, though.
Mm-hmm. So they triple attack every turn, and at the end of every turn, they use 20 of that meter, probably, maybe, to do a nuke, Black Leg Cook.
It hits all enemies, so it's good for if an enemy puts up mirror image.
Mm-hmm.
635k, so with caps, it's still pretty good.
Mm-hmm. If they are in red health, instead they will heal themselves and give everybody 20 meter.
It heals everybody. It's a 2k heal, which is not bad. So one of the problems we'll run into is if you have too much HP.
Mm-hmm. They'll just keep healing themselves out of range.
No, they won't.
Uh,
They'll lose more. So we go Diablo Jambe, or however you pronounce that.
mm-hmm. All right, so
And
here we go. This one.
yeah, so it's a one-time 50% assassin.
Mm-hmm.
It's you get also 3 turns of 30% chaser.
Yeah, so there's their chaser.
30k of sentimental damage for 3 turns.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're overheated for 3 turns.
Can this
And
be cleared?
Probably.
Okay. It
it,
isn't doesn't say can't be removed. Okay, got it. But
so
mhm.
the thing is that when it says 5% of max HP. If your max HP is really high,
Oh, there's no
the
max on it?
there's no cap on it.
I see. So they're losing 5% of their HP every turn. On a turn where they CA, they lose um,
20%.
15%, yeah, and another 5% on top of that. So,
They will do the heal first before taking damage
mhm.
for my testing. But having 60k HP was very detrimental. They eventually died.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
if you're not running them with Lich. If you're running them with Lich, they'll stay alive by a lot.
Mhm. But
But
once
then
again, that speaks
you'll never get the passive of healing every turn with 20%
meter.
meter to everybody.
So, I've just been using them in just like semi-auto situations, and they just tend to die to their own hostility up against the maniac difficulty of just this event. So I'm just like, man, imagine what it's like bringing them to something, say like Akasha or something like that, where it's an actual raid that can hit you really hard, or like Luo, they'll just fall over.
Hey, at least in Kasha will speed up your overheat.
That's true. Um, so yeah, the rest of their kit is relatively pedestrian. We got 1080-pound Phoenix, which is a nuke and dark defense down.
25% is pretty good.
hmm And then we have EI Deathlion Song, which is 3 turns of dodge and counter, but 2 hits only, and then
And
also a
they
dark
don't
defense.
really do they don't actually really do anything with a dodge encounter.
Yeah.
There's nothing that procs off of it.
hmm And so these guys are good, but you'll find so many characters just like this in Dark, right? It's just like here's your triple attack, here's your chaser. They have a they have a minor assassin. 50%
It sucks that the assassin is a yellow skill and
because
immediately follows a 1080-pound Phoenix.
hmm
So he's up the assassin.
hmm I mean, like it's nice for them to be more likely to be targeted than the dodge, but then the rest of the time they're just gonna die. So I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
cool. What's up?
we forgot to say. So they have unworldly CA.
They do. It is unworldly. And the cost of it is that it does eat their HP. However, there is no prerequisite for it. It is only a bunch of like after effects. That
There is a prerequisite is that they have to be above 50% HP.
yeah, if they cannot eat that HP, they will not CA.
It is part of the cost.
Yeah. Then they get 30% meter, which some of the time is actually only 10% meter because then they'll use 20 of it to do Black Lake Cook.
Sometimes it's 50.
Sometimes it's 50 meter because then they'll do Ultimate Confection. Yeah. You don't
And
necessarily
then
have.
that's it. They just get closer to their death sentence.
Yeah. So, one thing about them is that because they do have guaranteed triple attack, um, they can be used on just semi-auto teams. Uh, but once again, there's so many dark characters who just have guaranteed triple attack already, like as part of their kits. Like,
It's like literally welcome to being a dark character.
yeah, it's like Predator's one of the first of those where she just always triple attacks. You know,
She'll die eventually, though.
yeah. Um, Meg, if you have two
Swimsuit.
summer characters, will always triple attack. Um, should we just go into the next character who's just always going to triple attack?
Sure.
Yeah, I think even Ipatsu triple attacks, right? Just
Is
yeah, he
it,
just
is
always
it
triple
a buff?
attacks.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is? Okay.
yeah, it's
Sick.
just deals triple attacks. Yeah. So meanwhile, we have ourselves Bowman, the new character. It's Fantasy Ire. So this is his.
How's he a fantasy hire?
Have you
He's
seen
like
Fight Club?
25.
Have you? Do you know how dissociative identity disorder works and how
Yes, I
alter
do.
ages? Yeah. So this is one of Ire's personalities, his identities. I
Yeah,
think they call it alters.
you learn it through his original story in the first place.
Hmm. Or by watching, the movie Fight Club. So anyway, this is officially Ayer's destructive urges given like a personality and form because he's trying to disassociate himself from those. Um, so here's Bowman. This is the thing that I'm going to point to Bowman for first. So he has skills that you will never press. You are not allowed to press them. He is Astariola style. The cooldowns are only there probably so that in case there's anything that happens, there is never a null pointer. So it doesn't break the game. Because, once again, Astariola's skills also technically have cooldowns. They just...
Oh, wasn't it originally a Stariola's cooldowns? You could press them after you got the stacks.
Yes. You could press them after he woke up, briefly. Now, after his rework, they said, nah, never mind.
Just autocast everything.
And so people thought that it was just a legacy thing. Well, it turns out that it's probably just something that's hard-coded into the game that skills have to have cooldowns. Or, they have to have the code that says they can never be recast. So, he cannot press his buttons. And he has the Mugen clause of it doesn't matter if you have CA turned off or not. If he has 100 meter, he's doing it. Just like Mugen, you can force him to guard in V2, but he does what he wants. Bowman he's just doing it. He always
it's literally Mugen because Mugen also has abilities that key every couple turns.
Yeah, so he's just permanently berserk because Mugen starts calm. He does not start angry. Now Bowman starts always angry, only anger. Only destruction. So
how do you trigger his skills then?
So each one of them explains how to do it, just like Astariola again. So we have Mayhem. It's a 2-hit nuke. It heals Bowman, and it passes his hostility to someone else. It's like they did
random.
It is random, and it is reactive to a special attack by the enemy.
So enemy seeing, I see.
Then you have more strife, which it happens every time he does a normal attack. So it's a 3-hit nuke and a stackable dark defense down.
Up to 40%.
Is it 10% at a time?
10% at a time.
Okay. So within, 5 turns or so, he's just going to lay it down and it'll just stay permanently at 40% down. And then there's Outrage, which is dark damage and a random buff to himself, one of 3, and it happens after he charge attacks. So after he charge attacks, he'll either get Uplift,
15%,
Self-Veil, or 2 turns of Double Strike. And since this is something that casts after he CAs, it's basically 1 turn. But it can be extended for whatever that's worth by Viking. It doesn't say can't be extended. The thing that keeps this from being really out of hand is that it's random, and sometimes you'll just get a veil or something.
You're literally just gonna get veil 3 times in a row one time, and you're gonna feel sad.
And by the way, welcome to Dark. Hey, guess where his Chaser is? It's on Phantom Impact. When he CAs, he just gets Chaser for, 2 turns after he attacks? After he CAs?
2?
Wait, is it 5?
It's 5.
It's 5, that's right.
It's Ire still.
Yeah, that's right. So,
it's 50% Chaser.
Yeah. This character lays down a whole lot of beatdown. That's all he does, once again. But
he has 4 crit nodes.
That's pretty funny. Like, the thing that I find really funny also is that, so he's Fantasy Series, and I think he's our first Fantasy Series. No, he's second. He's our second because Sandalphon was the Fantasy Series. Never mind. But, he's the one
for Earth one.
For Earth, yeah. But yeah, it's like they have been pretty sparing with the fantasy tag, but they did bring this one out for a pretty interesting use case because it is for a suppressed personality of a character who, once again, different age, he's like a foot taller than Ire is, at least how Ire perceives him. He's voiced by someone else. It's I don't know. This is just a really cool implementation, and
Yeah, I like it.
yeah, this is just
Benjamin is fantasy.
Benjamin is fantasy. Oh, you're right. You're right. Thank you for
Different
the.
persona.
That's right. It's Aoidos from the past. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, this is a good use of it. I like it. I don't know who else that can get this treatment, but we'll find out. We'll find out, and if they're this funny and this unique, I'm all for it.
Let me see. How long does the hostility last anyway? It lasts for 3 turns.
Yeah,
They did it.
they did it. No, it wasn't me.
Which is funny because he has a counters upon taking damage. So
Yep, that's a sort of hidden part of his kit because it's just hidden behind his permanent boost to attack, always triple attacks, and he can't press skills. He
yeah,
only.
but it's like they did it. I'll never counterattack.
Mhm. Meanwhile, um, the notable thing about Jessica is one, she got a haircut. She intentionally goes and decides that she needs to um, like update her whole self-image, and the person that she goes to in order to give herself a makeover is a
Korra,
character that
right?
yeah, it's Korwa. So let me see if that is officially listed as an update in English yet. Um, is it the 19th update? Yes.
I came out on 19th.
Yeah. So this is the first time that they have recast someone who did not retire or pass away. So Korwa's VA has been on hiatus for I think 3.5 years now, 2.5, 3.5, basically. And so they have not been able to make any Korwa content that it does not use generic lines. Uh, and so they did change Korwa's voice. She's now Ito Shizuka, who also voices Sutera. They're doing it via the Alethea / all the other characters who've passed away method. Only future lines will be done by the new actress.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope Fujimura Ayami's doing well. We're not gonna get news on that until she and her agency are ready to say something about it. But I hope she's doing well. I want her. I wish she would come back, but they got to do what they got to do. So here's Jessica. She got a significant haircut. People were joking about Nishio Ishii and things because I guess that's the last time people saw the breakup haircut thing. Or the personality change haircut. It's just been a thing for high schoolers
I'm like,
for
this
years.
is not new.
It's not new at all. All right.
I literally saw this in one of my favorite series in 2019.
Which one was that?
Photovoon.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. So anyway, where do you want to start with Jessica? There's a few funny things.
Let's go with her passes first.
Okay. So when someone else uses a charge attack, that character heals. And then they get a boost to attack and defense stackable.
Yeah, so the heal is 1k, so it's like whatever. But the stacking goes up is 30%.
Mhm.
Well, 10% each goes up to 30% and is unique stackable.
Is it permanent?
It is indefinite, but it can be dispelled.
It can be dispelled. Okay. And then, so here's her ammo mechanic. She gets one cannonball every 5 turns, or when she triple attacks. She starts with 2. She goes to a maximum of 3. So now let's go to look at what uses cannonballs. There are 2 things that use cannonballs. One is her targeted buff, which is CA reactivate to another ally, and they get 100% charge bar.
So,
It's,
if they are samurai, they get 200%, or they can go up to 200% or whatever.
and it does eat a cannonball, and it also has a very long cooldown, to note.
Yeah, 9 turns.
9 turns is pretty darn long.
And she doesn't actually have ways to cheat these cooldowns.
Mm-hmm. However, CA reactivation to another character is a strong effect, especially when it comes with instant. Well, not instant CA standby. That's a different one mechanically. It's 100 meter. just straight up.
They they, because they're CA reactivating, they'll get 2K heal and 20% attack and defense.
Hmm. And then the other thing that uses those cannonballs is she has an unworldly CA, and the prereq
So
is that
there's a downside.
it eats a cannonball, and it needs a cannonball in order to activate it all. And it's boost to all ally CA specs, so you want her.
30% damage and 10% CA cap.
Hmm. For that turn, you want her earlier in line. If you want to save it for later turns, then you want her later in line. Either way works. It's valid because it's a one time and not for the rest of the turn or anything like that. Everybody gets 15% meter. Um, and then so the rest of her kit is also just about meter and things like that. So she has her nuke, which is also a gravity. It's also an uplift to all characters
For like 5 turns.
and veil. However, it has a very long cooldown.
I mean, it has a 5 turn uplift. So that's actually pretty good.
Hmm.
It's just that she won't be able to use that most of the time.
Yeah. And then the last one is Neuer Anfang, which is it's two things at once. And it looks like they're doing different things, but they work together because of how Jessica works, where she gives herself instant CA standby and a one-time, not one turn, guaranteed triple attack
On a 7 turn cooldown.
on a 7-turn cooldown. This is her shortest cooldown. Is her
It's her
CA
shortest
standby.
It's her shortest cooldown, and this is her only triple attack giving thing.
Yeah. And so, welcome to Dark. Here's your triple attack. It's just that she only does it for one time. And the way that this will work is that if she has a cannonball already, then she will first use the CA, and that'll use the cannonball. And then the next turn, she still has her triple attack buff on because she hasn't used it yet. And then she'll get a cannonball back for either her next CA, or if enough turns have passed, you can use her skill 2 again. These cooldowns are way too long for practical use.
Oh, she's a low turn count character.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, so things you can do. Another dark ally that could be, MC, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Then you CA at the beginning of turn. You give everybody else meter. Everyone else now CAs.
Yeah. This is CA reactivate to another dark ally is not unique in the element. It's just that the actual meter boost is new. So that is something that she does that Nier does not for short-term teams. And so she does a few things. She'll probably be useful in things like Nightmare 95 or so, and just taking as few turns as possible in a short number of button presses. Because CA reactivation is not something you should sniff at. Nier's comes with a drawback of pressing that button kills Nier slowly.
I mean, that's nothing new.
Yeah. And this one's just the drawback is that it's a 9-turn cooldown. Like you're not pressing it again under normal circumstances. But
Yeah, if she didn't have like the merit of needing cannonball, she'd be perfect for CA looping, like super easily.
Yeah, and as it is, the more she CAs, the worse she gets in some ways because she'll have a lot of turns where she's at 100 meter and is desperately trying to triple attack to get a cannonball back. And if she doesn't triple attack, then you're just stuck at 100 meter not doing anything for those. Well, let me sketch this out. So she starts with 2. You press skill 2, so she goes down to 1. She CAs that turn. Then the next turn she triple attacks, so she is now at 1 cannonball. So she can CA one more time. And then after that, then she has to wait for the skill 3 cooldown to come back up.
I feel like she's one of the characters that you actually put the multi-attack on.
The multi-attack awakening?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have her at least even have a glimpse of getting able to triple attack without skill 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rodrant says she'd be great in a style of loop where it's like the new generations with Lily, loop with Jean, where you chain burst one turn and then everybody guaranteed triple attacks the next turn, which sets up the next full chain. So if that loop existed in Dark, then she would be fine for that.
However, Darkjan does not have this ability.
Yeah. So yeah.
Once they print that, we'll come back to this.
As it is right now, she has some things that are relatively unique. They're not fully unique because, like I said, CA reactivate. You could make the evoker to do that. But there's some fun things going on here. Not
I like how
necessarily the most
they took
powerful.
her small heal from her Yukata version.
Mm-hmm. Like there's
Also, this now I think about it, this is her first SSR that's not unlimited.
Yep, um she is not Yukata version and what was the other one? There's an Earth
No,
Yukata.
that was
Oh,
it.
that's it? Okay, that's
That's
right.
the only SSR.
All right, well, get Mary out of this jail too, please.
Yeah, they keep bringing her back every year for her Granblue Fest. Was like,
Well, Seto Asami comes in for Granblue Fest a lot too because she has a couple of songs that she does for GBF. Well, she has one song that she does for GBF, but then she just fills in for other people because she's a pretty good singer in her own right.
and here we are.
Here we
She
are.
got her SSR.
Yeah.
All right, Mary. See you in like when your brother also gets an SSR.
Yeah. This is funny that they brought out a Dark Jessica to go with a Dark Ire. It's just that Dark Ire is not necessarily one that she would want to be hanging around.
It's not
But
her brother.
it, yeah. So
I do
anyway.
like how her weapon does come at 4-star.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise, Mr. Excelsior.
I was going to say something, but you beat me to it. Yeah. Surprise.
Hey, that's wild.
That's wild. What a combo. Who would have thought? All right. So that's that for this week. We have a couple things coming up that we know about. So there's always going to be the end of month story event. So we're going to get previews of that fairly soon. We're going to be picking up a huge chunk of bonuses from the Grand 5 collab event once that's done. So the bonuses that we're going to be picking up at the end of this so far. Oh, hey, surprise! We hit our Grimnir goal, so that'll be guaranteed. So
yeah, I was being up with Luffy earlier.
all right, so at the end of Grand 5, what we're getting so far is 7,000 CP. We're very likely going to get one of each earring. I don't know what the very last avatar bounty is going to be because there's no pattern there yet. We're going to get 30 half elixirs, 100 berries, 1,000,000 rupees, 5 silver gifts, and then 6 of each Grimnir series anima, Grimnir and Shiva series, the Omega 2s. And then whatever the avatar one gives us. So that's not insignificant.
I do need these class points. I've been running low actually recently.
Where am I on that actually? Because it does cost a lot to do the high end stuff. I have 13k right now, so that'll go to 20k, and then the next class 5 that comes out will just take a giant chunk out of that. So, you know, I'm not going to say no to them. We're going to say goodbye to Skyscope missions. But this is something that's interesting to me. We're gonna have a 2-day break after One Piece ends, before the next thing. Yes, well, that's true for some people.
Hi, I'm some people.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right. But you know, it's relatively rare that they give us that much of a break. Usually, it's just a 1 day or even like a 2-hour break. But yeah, this time next week we have a maintenance coming, so whatever happens in maintenance will happen. We'll have whatever's coming up with the next story. For those of you who haven't done it yet, I do suggest going into side stories and the new Robomuzed so that you can pick up all of the Abomination costumes. Those are just a lot of fun. Uh, and yeah, that'll that'll be it for next week, basically.
If you have bought a surprise ticket but not spent it yet, you have another 2 days to do that because it ends with Run Piece ends.
Yeah, I'll probably get Manimal.
Oh yeah.
Isn't the grid realignment company? Yeah, on the 28th we'll have the ability to hit swap on weapons in the grid.
Oh, thank you. It's really annoying me that I have a V shape for one of my 3 weapon grids.
No, I use well, you know me. I use that to terrorize people. It's like graphic design is my passion.
I'm sorry, I'm not you.
It's probably for the best that you're not me. I'm trying to find what do I have 3 of the same weapon of? I think most of my stuff I have only 2 of the same weapon now.
Yeah, you don't have all the galleon staffs yet.
I only have 1 galleon staff. Thank you, Luffy, for that. Oh, this one's asymmetrical. Here's my Ariar's beak. Here's my other Ariar's beak, and here are my 2 harps, and my 3rd source of crit here. And making a nice little knight's move shape here, little L. I'm a freaking terrorist, and I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually.
You're definitely not sorry.
Yeah, you're right. Graphic design is my passion, guys. Oh,
I've seen that shirt.
It's on brand, all right. Oh man, look at how these LER's beaks are in different positions every grid. It's nice. It's great. Oh no, this was a copy. They're in the same positions. I gotta move these around. That's how I use my swap ability.
I've been turning off your stream.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. It'll hopefully be a quiet week. We'll see what happens. And then after that, in 2 weeks, I'll be doing the show from TwitchCon, and we will have choreograph for October, and we'll be able to talk
I
about
was to
that
say
one.
it's not November yet. I'm not ready to go to Japan.
I'm super ready to go to Japan. All
I'm
right,
super excited to
everybody.
go to Japan.
With that, thank you for joining us. Thanks for hanging out, DJ. I'll see y'all later.